It's Feb, I can't believe it, and I think it's time for a garden tour. So things are heading in the right direction. We're heading for spring. There's so much exciting growth happening. Every day when I come out here with a cup of tea, I spot a bud on something else or something else popping up, and it is just so exciting. It has been relentlessly wet this winter, but brighter days are coming. I noticed this morning that at 10 to 7 I could see the sky and it wasn't so pitch black out the window, which is just so exciting. And when you love gardening and you just love being outside, having brighter days is just like an instant boost. So come with me and we're going to have a little look around the garden. Now we are mid-project on quite a few different things. So there are some things which look beautiful and there is quite a bit of chaos. Feb is always such a busy month for us in the garden because there are lots of projects that we want to get done before spring, and we kind of use the quieter month of Feb to be getting those things done. So our weekends have been very busy with building and doing lots of things. So let's have a look at the garden and let me know what you think of our ideas. Honestly, guys, it is so exciting to be in Feb. But there are still lots of jobs that need doing, and I'll show you lots of the things that I've done. But things are starting to look brighter and brighter days are coming, and I've noticed that every single time I come out, I notice something else growing. And, you know, there's flowers, we've got interest, we've got bulbs poking up. We're getting there. We are getting there, and all of our hard work from the autumn, from the winter, all of our planning, all of our prep, it kind of like all comes together, and it's just so exciting. What I've really noticed is that lots of the borders are really starting to look quite green now, where all of that fresh foliage is coming through. There is so much perennial growth coming through. It's crazy. The climbing rose, you might have seen the video that I did when I tied all of that in, so that is a job which is done. But honestly, guys, look at all of the bulbs that are coming through. So we've got so many alliums poking through. All of this fresh growth of all of the perennials is coming through. Every day I'm looking out here and I'm thinking, oh, I noticed I've got a thalictrum that's doing really, really well. My phlox growth, let's have a little look in here. So much growth coming at the base of everything. So I don't do my cutback usually until March, unless I've got stems that are soggy and slimy and drooping all over the floor. You know, this is still a habitat for things to be hibernating in, all of this old foliage. So there's no need to, you know, tidy it up super quick. So I do leave things as they are. I've mulched most of the garden since we last had a look around together, so this side looks really neat. I still need to finish the mulching of this area, but it's been so wet, it just hasn't stopped raining. So that's a job I'd like to get done in the next week, just to have all the mulch done. And then really I'm sort of doing final tweaks of planting that I wanted done ready for spring. So I've placed this steeper grass here because I was wondering whether I'd quite like a steeper in that gap. I've got several other in this border, but I can't decide between my steeper or my Hacknacloa. So I've got both of them stood there until I've made up my mind. I've got a creeping thyme here and a beautiful white Achillea. And I just felt that a grass and a bit of movement, look how that steeper is moving, just might be quite nice. So yeah, I'm undecided. Maybe by the next time we do a tour, I might have made up my mind. I then also here had an Amelanchier tree in a big square pot. And I had been umming and ahhing about getting that tree in the ground because it was getting bigger and I felt like it just wasn't right to have it there forever. So last week I got that out of the pot with the help of the kids and we've planted it here. So I think that's going to look great. We also have added this big eucalyptus in a pot in the back there. So unfortunately the neighbours have got a conifer which hasn't been very well maintained. So the back side of it just is brown and looks awful. So we keep pruning this side, which luckily keeps that little bit green, but there's nothing we can do about that. But having the eucalyptus, which we already had in that corner, makes the view from our bedroom windows much nicer, because whenever we opened our curtains in the morning, all we could see was dead tree. So that does look much nicer now. It's just lifted that corner a little bit. And then this fatsia, which was enormous, I had 2 really big branches coming right over the pond. I decided that it really needed a bit of rejuvenation. So I cut back 2 of the stems really hard, and look at all of the lovely fresh growth at the base. So hopefully that will bush up again and then give me a bit more of a fuller look down below, because all the stems were growing a bit like this, sparse on the bottom, top heavy with the foliage. So then when these ones have grown back a bit, maybe next year I'll prune the other one. But that's the great thing about fatsias, you can be really hard with them and prune them back quite hard. So then once we'd finished mucking around with moving and pruning, I then have rebuilt my log pile. I've added a few extra logs as well. I sort of was wanting to build a bit of a stumpery, actually. I don't know if you've ever come across that term, but basically you can stack up lots of old logs and bits of tree stumps, and you can plant in the stumps like little bits of fern and that kind of thing. So I really loved the idea of creating a bit of a stumpery around the pond. So this is a wildlife pond. We have a lot of newts and frogs and toads that kind of love this area. So that's really nice, and we really would like to actually have frog spawn this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. I've done a lot of research about why we're not getting the spawn, and I think it's because birds use this every day to have a bath multiple times a day. We have pigeons and blackbirds that are in it every day, and I don't know whether that's a threat to the frogs. It seems that the two can't really coexist. Like, the frogs are fine, but I wonder if that's why they're never, doing their thing in there. So who knows? But yeah, we absolutely love it. And then this Beni Chidori tree is looking insane, so beautiful. And then here is looking a bit cluttered and a bit messy because we're doing a big revamp of this area, which is super exciting. So we're replacing the roof so that we can use this more as like an outside room. So I know that for lots of people, it's when the weather's not nice, it's like in and out with your garden furniture and cushions, and it meant that we didn't actually use this area because, I know it sounds silly, but the faff of like going to get your cushions out. So what we wanted was to create a family area where the furniture was always set up, and the cushions were always out, and it was dry, so the kids can come and eat their dinner out here, and we can come and sit out here for cups of tea. So we really wanted to revamp this area. So we are giving away our furniture that doesn't work for us anymore. This sofa's actually going to a relative because it just doesn't work for the space, and we've got a lovely furniture set. So yeah, we're excited about that. And I pruned the wisteria, pulled loads of it off this roof. So that was a really big job. We then had some bamboo in planters, and actually we love how that's kind of greened up the space a little bit. So we're going to get a nicer pot for that to go in. But yeah, I'm really excited about this little project. And then one other thing that we're doing, those chairs are going as well, is we are connecting up to this downpipe here another water tank so that we can save even more rainwater this year. Something that's really important to us is saving more water, particularly because of the drought that we had last year. So that is another project. We found a tank that we want on Facebook Marketplace. We just need to go and get it. So yeah, there's been a lot of projects, a lot of moving, a lot of planting, pruning. This bit of the garden has kept me really busy in Jan, and I feel like, once the roof's done, once all that furniture's gone, which should be gone in the next week, that's going to be great. And then the messy side is all this fencing, and we've got more stuff to go to the tip because we have started project fencing. So again, because of the wet and the weather, we just haven't had kind of the time to get it done. But what we did at the weekend is the fence posts are all replaced now, which was a really big job. And then we need to start actually doing the fence panels. So we've got everything we need. Or I say panels, we're building it, we're making it ourselves, but at least the posts are done. And what you can actually see is the height difference. So there's actually a path that runs down there, quite a high path. So if people were to walk down there now, their heads just poke up. So our garden is like sunken a bit lower. So it always looks like our fences are really high, but actually the fences are built from the other side. So that's why it looks like that. So that'll be amazing when that job is done. And then as soon as the fence is finished and we've got some dry weather, we can get it all painted black. We can get all of these tree supports painted black, and it will be a complete transformation of this area. And then ready for spring, when the weather gets nice, it will be project rebuild the football goal. So this is the mouth of the boys' goal. But Ben is going to make a nicer looking one out of wood rather than the huge plastic samba one that we had. So that's going to be really exciting. So yeah, that's been one project. And then another project, which is really exciting. Actually, this was a bit of a project. So we've moved 2 planters here because we're going to have this space for this year as veg growing. So last year we did pumpkins and courgettes that side. I had tomatoes here. And I said to Ben, I just felt we had these planters anyway. Let's give it a go of growing a few extra bits, but just in better pots. So we're going to have mange two, and we're going to have like a bit of a climbing structure in here to help with support of some things. I might put tomatoes in that one, but basically because we're under the basketball hoop here, it's disastrous for plants and flowers, but a little bit of veg I think will be fine. It was fine last year. So that, yeah, this is going to be a foodie area, and we're going to grow vertically, and that'll be quite fun. And then I haven't jet washed or sorted any of this yet, but what we have started to do is to build our living wall, which I'm so excited about. So I bought this for Christmas. I finished a job working at the school because I now teach gardening full-time. That's now my full-time job. And as a bit of a memento and a bit of a, I'm very sentimental, I had some vouchers from the kids and some vouchers from my colleagues. So I wanted this to be like an end of an era and having a bit of them with me, which I know sounds really sad, but that's the sort of person I am. So I'm gathering plants. All of these have come from the sale. So I've spent my vouchers really well. I got most of these for like £1 each. I'm also doing lots of taking cuttings, but the brand of this living wall is Plant Box. It's got a self-watering system, and my goal is to have it evergreen so that we've got something lovely to look at all year, because usually it's a blank fence, completely blank fence until July or August when things finally grow. So I wanted to have a lovely backdrop, a living wall. So yeah, we started that at the weekend, so that's super exciting. Then mulching, started the mulching here. Oh, in fact, yeah, that I think is actually done. Pots, yeah, they're all kind of looking okay. Things are, starting to put on a lot of growth. I've got my ranunculus here looking incredible. They're very, very happy. And yeah, just lots, everywhere I look, there's bulbs popping up. There's things happening. It's just such an exciting time. The greenhouse is, doing okay. It's been wet, it's been muggy, it's been damp. There's been a few disasters, but, most things are looking really healthy. And actually, for me, quite empty for Feb. So I've got loads that I'm growing indoors that will be coming out here soon. And it's just a really, really exciting time. So that's kind of like a flying tour of just a few things that we've been doing. But like I said, we've just been so busy, and January and February we always just plough on and really get busy. And every year since we've lived here, we kind of set a little goal of jobs that we want to do for that year. Not necessarily pretty jobs, like doing that fence is a horrible job. Nobody likes to do fencing, but we kind of spread out those big ugly jobs and just do something each year. So we've eventually done all the fencing in the whole garden, and you know what it's like. You have rotten posts and you kind of make do, and that's what we've done with various bits, because you don't want to do all that in one go, and we've just had to prioritize what to do. And then the living wall's been something I've been talking about for ages, so yeah, we kind of pick a few projects to really focus on and get done, and then we just like to get all of that done before the nice weather comes, because that's when we want to be enjoying the garden and having barbecues and playing with the kids in the garden. So for us, Jan and Feb, you know, when the kids are, I mean, at the moment, like, their sports clubs have been called off because it's been so wet. So it's kind of been dark and wet, and the kids just want to hunker down and be at home. So we've just been heading out into the garden and just ploughing through these jobs. So yeah, it's been crazy busy, and I'll do a tour with you again in 2 weeks' time, and hopefully some more stuff will be done. And I might even film a few bits in between. But oh God, it's just such an exciting time of year, and to think that this time next month the brighter days will be here. You know, we might even crack out a t-shirt. Okay, maybe not, but we have had t-shirt weather in March before. And just to know that it's around the corner just gives so much hope, and is like such an instant mood booster, isn't it, to know that spring is coming. And yeah, there's so much to be doing in the garden, so many little projects to do, and yeah, I'm so glad that you are here with us into the next growing season. I hope that you enjoyed that little tour. Just to think, in a few weeks' time, when I'm back with you in the garden again, we'll be even closer to spring. It's just so exciting. Don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more of me in my budget family garden, and I'll see you next time.